Hey, what's up, YouTube? This is 24K signing in. I want to talk about the Yankees season so far. Obviously, it's really early on in the season right now, but I want to talk about the first couple weeks of the season. So right now, the Yankees are actually playing pretty well. They've won 5 in a row. They won 2 from the Cubs. They won 3 out of 4 from Boston. And they won against the Rays last night. And they're 10-6. They're in the lead in their division. They're in first place by a couple games. But again, it's only April, so anything can happen. That AL East is going to be competitive like usual, most likely. So I'm not going to take too much stock in them leading the division right now. I'm not going to get my hopes up too much because it's only mid-April and anything can happen. Really, truly, anything can happen. And baseball is a game of streaks. The Yankees could go on a very hot streak, but they can go very cold like any other team. So anything can happen. But that being said, they're playing decent right now. Even though it's only been a couple weeks, they're playing decent. They're playing without Robertson. He's hurt. I'm not sure when he's coming back. Hopefully soon. They're playing without Teixeira. Surprise there. Not really. He's been hurt the past few years. And yeah, I don't think I heard his wrist is never going to be 100% again, unfortunately. But hopefully, when he does come back, it's possible he can come back this weekend, this Sunday. That he's at least somewhat productive and somewhat healthy. I'm hoping, knock on wood. But yeah, I'm not sure when his contract's up with the Yankees, but he's had a great career. But the past few seasons, it's been frustrating to watch him as a fan because he keeps getting hurt. I'm sure he's frustrated as well. But uh, Kelly Johnson, Kelly Johnson has been filling in nicely for him. They called up Scott Sizemore, a veteran. He's been filling in nicely, even though it's only been a couple games, so it's hard to judge based on a couple games. So they even had Beltran play first for a couple innings this past Sunday against Boston. So, I mean, people are filling in decent for him. Obviously, of course, errors are going to happen. It's part of the game, especially when you're putting first baseman, quote unquote, at first base, who aren't normally first basemen. So it's understandable if errors do occur. So that being said, overall they are filling in nicely. But that's one thing I do miss about Teixeira, his defense. He's had a great defensive career, a lot of Gold Gloves. He's not only a great power hitter, but he's a great defensive player. Just as good, maybe even better. So, first base, question mark right now. Cervelli, another guy that's hurt. He's a good young player, but the problem is the past couple seasons he's been getting hurt as well. Who hasn't been getting hurt? But I think Cervelli has potential to be a very good player if he can stay healthy. Now, that's a big if. He's hurt again, and they're saying he's not going to come back until about June or July. He had a hamstring injury. So we'll see what happens there. And I believe he did get suspended last year, being caught with steroids, but no one's really talking about that. So hopefully he's off the juice. So Kelly Johnson can also play second and third. He's a utility guy, but they've been putting him in the lineup at various positions. So obviously no one's going to replace Cano. Roberts has been doing a decent job, but he's banged up a little bit himself as well. So he's missed a few games, but he did come back last night and have a good game. He had a triple, a double, single, so he seems to be fine at least right now at this point in time. He was going for the cycle last night. Didn't quite get it, but he played really well last night. So we got shortstop. Jeter, of course. Solarte can play short. Brendan Ryan, but he's on the DL. I'm not sure when he's coming back. Hopefully soon. So a lot of question marks there. Third base. Solarte's been playing third as well. Scott Sizemore a little bit. But I really believe, and I hope that Solarte, I'm pronouncing the name wrong. I'm butchering it. He is going to become an everyday player. He's already playing every day right now because of injuries, but even if injuries weren't a factor with other players, I really hope he stays as an everyday player. Obviously, he's going to come back down to earth a little bit, but I think he has potential to be a really great player, especially a great hitter. He's got off to a great start. He's cooled off a little bit, but that's expected. So you got catcher McCann. Now he was starting to heat up a little bit recently, but he got hurt, banged up a little bit on a pass ball. Actually, yeah, it hit his wrist, his throwing hand wrist, but hopefully he'll come back soon. I don't think it was too major of an injury, but still, it's unbelievable all these injuries that the Yankees keep getting in recent years, especially, and at least this year so far, the injury bug hasn't impacted them or affected them too much as far as winning goes. Of course, you're going to lose games. You can't win every single game, but overall, they're playing very well despite all the injuries. Now, you got the outfield. Beltran's been doing really well, but he got banged up last night, uh, tripping over a short wall at the Tropicana Field, and they should really raise that wall. He should have known where that was. I know he's not used to playing in Tampa, but still, um, they really need to raise those walls. So hopefully he's all right. He stayed in the game, but he may sit out today's game just to get some rest and to recover a little bit. So the Yankees, for the most part, are having a lot of minor injuries, but they're injuries, and the injuries, any type of injuries aren't good, obviously. But Teixeira's is coming off a major injury. Jeter's coming off a major injury. And Teixeira re-injured his wrist. So there's a mix of minor injuries and some major injuries, but mainly minor. And like I said, Cervelli, he's going to be out for at least a couple months, so that's somewhat serious. You got Ichiro, he's been doing well. He made a hell of a catch against the Red Sox a couple days ago, and if he didn't make that catch, at the very least, the Red Sox are tying the game, and they're possibly winning that game. So, hell of a catch he made, and he's hitting okay. Gardner, he's been one of the most consistent players on the team. He fields well, throws well, and he hits well. He gets on base a lot. He has potential to be an all-star. I really believe that. He's an up-and-coming star, in my opinion. And he's just all around a great player. He can steal bases. He's the real deal. You got I think I went through all the position players, or most of them. So far, despite all the injuries, most of them minor, thankfully, the Yankees have been playing well. Knock on wood. Hopefully, they continue to play well. Obviously, of course, they're not going to win every single game. They're not going to dominate every game, but like they did last night. But they have potential to stay on top of their division, and I really hope they do. It's a tough division, though. You can never count the Red Sox out, even though they've got off a bad start. You can't count the Rays out. They're a pesky team. And the Blue Jays, they're not that great. Out of all the teams in the American League East, the Blue Jays are the weakest team in my opinion. And the Orioles, in recent years, they've been playing better. So it's a tough division. It's only mid-April. Anything can happen. I'm not going to get my hopes up too much, and nor should I, or should anyone, in my opinion, because it's only April. But I'm just reviewing the first couple weeks of the season, what I've seen and what I think of it. So let me know what you guys think. Oh, before I go, I'm going to briefly go over their starting pitching. Sabathia, he pitched well last night. He's no longer an ace, even though technically on paper he's an ace, but he's no longer an ace. He might be a 2 or 3 guy, but he pitched well last night. He's lost velocity on his fastball, but he can still get it done. He still works hard, and you can tell that he wants to win. Like, everyone wants to win, of course, but he's a workhorse. Okay, you got Kuroda. He's a very good pitcher, very good number 2 guy. Even though last season, towards the end of it, he wasn't doing too well, but it's a new season now. Despite the end of the season last year, he was the most consistent starting pitcher for the Yankees. You got Nova. Now, he has potential to be a very good pitcher, even though he did have a bad start earlier in the year. He pitched well against Boston. He has potential to be very good, and hopefully he is. Of course, you got Tanaka. Well, it's hard to judge based on a few games, but so far he's pitched really well, and I'm not sure how many strikeouts he has. He has at least like 20-something, maybe around 30 in a few games, so that's pretty awesome. And so far, so good. He's even great, and he's just awesome so far. So hopefully he keeps that up. Pineda, he's been pitching really well, despite the pine tar incident controversy. If it really was, who knows? I don't know. It wasn't really a big deal among the players, or most of the players didn't seem to care. Pineda has been pitching really well, and it's about time he's pitched for the Yankees after being injured for the past couple of years. So let me know what you guys think. If the Yankees can keep this up, if they're going to fall apart, if they're going to get more injuries, if there's injuries are going to become more severe. I hope that Jeter stays healthy for the rest of the season, or at least somewhat healthy, knock on wood, because it's his last season, and he's going to have his farewell tour like Rivera did, and teams are going to be honoring him, and that's just cool to see, and nice to see that other teams honor him. Let me know what you guys think of this video, and feel free to subscribe to me, follow me on Twitter, and thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and be on the lookout for future videos. And my Twitter account is AlexGold14. Thanks again. See ya.